Hey guys, third time's the charm, right? Last two videos were way too long, so let's do this a little quicker this time. Here to talk to you guys about Theranos. So what is Theranos? It was a company founded by Elizabeth Holmes in 2003. She dropped out of Stanford and came up with this idea to perform blood tests on a single pinprick instead of using large needles and large vials of blood. This idea was really reveled by many venture capitalists and was funded very heavily. And 2014, it was valued at 9 billion and had over 400 million in seed money. So let's go into the more business side of it, and let's talk about the lean canvas model. And let's begin with one of the sections, the problem. The problem in Theranos' case and in the world's case was current blood tests takes a lot of blood. It's expensive and it's painful. Kids don't like it. Overall, no one really enjoys getting their blood taken. Holmes' solution to this was a simple pinprick that would catch the blood and analyze the blood with the same accuracy of a normal blood test, which would be a huge idea and would really change the world, as she kept on mentioning previously. And so what makes this company unique compared to all the other companies out there? Well, to start, this idea of just a pinprick would really change the world because it would be cheaper, it would be quicker, it would be less painful. Holmes mentioned that it would be cheaper by between half and a quarter of the cost. It would be quicker, it would almost only take 4 hours, and it would be less painful by just doing a prick instead of a whole needle in your arm, which really makes this company unique compared to all the other blood testing companies out there. Then you have to consider, who is this company made for? And in Theranos' case, it's made for the health-minded people, the people that want to make sure they stay healthy and have good blood diagnosis and whatnot. But it's also for the businesses such as Walgreens and the Cleveland Clinic who want to lease this technology and use it in their own clinics. And then lastly, even the military and the government would use it, as General Mattis was on the board at one time and said this could even be used on the battlefield. So the question is, how do we get this out to the customers? And in Theranos' case, there's two ways. The customer can go straight directly to Theranos and buy the blood tests, and then Theranos will analyze that on their own. Or the customers can go to a third party, such as Walgreens or the Cleveland Clinic, to get their blood tests done there. And then Walgreens will send it back to Theranos for that analyzation. So there's two different ways for customers to get this product. Now into the really heavy business side of it. How do we know that this business is doing successful? Well, in Theranos' case, I believe there's 4 ways. You can test how many, or see how many blood tests have been taken, which is a fairly standard number in the sense that how many products are being sold. And if it's a high number, obviously they're doing well. If it's increasing year to year, they're doing well. Another way to tell is how accurate the blood test is compared to the standard tests, because not only do they have to make sure they're increasing in revenue every year, but they have to make sure their technology is up to date and they retain credibility to their customers. So as I said, revenue is another option, because sure, blood tests could be one thing, but if you're not pricing them properly, then you're still bleeding out as a company. And then finally, how many businesses they're paired with, because not only is this a direct-to-consumer type of scenario, but you can also lease this technology out to others, such as Walgreens and Cleveland Clinic, and they could potentially be paying for this type of technology. So what really separates Theranos from all the others? That would be the unfair advantage, and in my opinion, there's 2 in this case. One is the numerous amount of patents they have on this type of technology. They had over 50 patents that prevented other companies from doing the same thing. And then they also are FDA exempt because of their specific process to analyze the blood samples. At the time, this was kind of not thought about, and no one really thought about doing this. Sure, other companies could, but it wasn't standard practice at the time. So in terms of stakeholders and really seeing how Theranos is doing as a company, you want to check out the type of revenue streams they have. And in Theranos' case, they have between one and two. I mentioned two just in case. The first one is the customers paying for the blood tests, and that's the most obvious. That's how they get money. That's their main source of money. Then it's possible that other businesses are paying Theranos to lease out their technology. It was fairly ambiguous and uncertain whether Walgreens and Cleveland Clinic was paying Theranos to be able to use their technology. It could have been the other way around, but I'd like to assume that Walgreens was paying Theranos in this scenario. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. And then finally, the cost structure, what the company is paying for, and in what areas are they losing money. So obviously, they have to pay for all the professionals that are working for the company, the engineers, the scientists, all the managers, etc. Those people need to get paid, and that's fairly standard in all business. Then there's also manufacturing costs. You have to pay for the materials for the tubes, the materials for the machines to analyze it, etc. Those will take up a large portion of the revenue. And then finally, there's advertising. That will be a smaller chunk, but without advertising, you can't get the product to the people, and therefore you won't be able to make money. So it is a necessary evil, but you still have to pay for it. So overall, the lean canvas model has been filled out, and every part has been filled out, which is good because not all companies can say that. The problem with Theranos is the fact that they didn't really actually have a product because it was a faulty product that didn't really work, and that is what caused their downfall. Not the fact that they didn't have a good business model, just the fact that they lied about having a working product. So thank you. I hope you guys learned something. And yeah, hope you enjoyed. Thanks.